Mr. Sanchez, can you hear me?
Señor Sánchez, ¿nos escucha?
Sí.
Yes.
Right, we are here in State of Florida Plaintiff versus Natalie Fonseca, Defendant, 23CF4430B. We are here in State of Florida Plaintiff versus Nafis named Reynolds, 23CF4430A. On March 13th of 2025, Ms. Fonseca took responsibility for cases 23CF4430B and also 24CF727A. And Ms. Fonseca is present, being represented by Mr. Early. On August 20th of 2025, Mr. Reynolds took responsibility for 23CF4430A and 24CF727B. We have Mr. Reynolds present, being represented by Mr. Mitchell. On those respective dates for Ms. Fonseca, I accepted a score sheet reflecting 334.3 points. Mr. Early, is there any reason I should not accept the score sheet again?
No objection to the score sheet.
And let the record reflect that the state is represented by Mr. Longmire. And on the respective date for Mr. Reynolds, I accepted a score sheet reflecting 330.40 points. Any objections, Mr. Mitchell, to me accepting the same score sheet again? All right. Any evidence by the state?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to call Investigator Martinez.
All right.
Your Honor, would Your Honor like the interpreter to interpret for the witness, for the victims as well?
Let me direct that question to the state. State, were you expecting for him to interpret as we go along so that Mr. Sanchez can follow the proceedings, or only when Mr. Sanchez intends to add something to the proceedings?
Only when either of the victims add things to the proceeding. Prior to us starting, I spoke with both of the victims, so they have a pretty good understanding of how today is going to go.
All right, thank you.
Maybe interpreter. Entonces solamente voy a interpretar cuando la víctima, cuando hagan algún movimiento, algún testimonio que tenga que ver con las víctimas, como usted se comunicó con la fiscalía antes y tiene un poco de idea, entonces no voy a interpretar paso a paso todo lo que está pasando, a menos que tenga que ver con usted. ¿Está bien?
Okay.
All right. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the information that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead and take a seat.
May I inquire, Your Honor?
You may.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Lionel Martinez Jr., M-A-R-T-I-N-E-C,
And Mr. Martinez, where are you employed?
with the Escambia County Sheriff's Office.
In what capacity?
I am an investigator of major crimes.
And is that also, as a main crime investigator, does that entail investigating homicides, attempted homicides, and offenses of that nature?
Yes, sir.
And back in October 2023, did you become involved in cases involving a Nafis, Reynolds, and a Natalie Fonseca?
Yes, I did.
Can you please explain to the court how you became involved in the investigation and what you did as a part of the investigation?
Yes, sir. I got assigned the case on October 9th, being the only Spanish-speaking investigator in major crimes. I reviewed the reports from the initial deputy and also the deputy who spoke to the victim at the hospital. I wanted to get firsthand perspective from the victim. So I went up to Sacred Heart. He was still in the hospital. Spoke to him there. Got some more details. He told me that he had met a female who had sent him a friend request on Facebook on October the 6th. That female reached out to him saying that she was hungry, wanted some food, asked for a pizza or some McDonald's. And he said, instead of that, can I get you some tacos? And she agreed to give him some tacos. He met with her, did the tacos, took her to her house. Uneventful that day. The following day, she reached out again to him, wanted to see him again. That's October the 7th. He said he was at work. He would be there later tonight. She met up with her at the same little house. She said she had to run an errand. And he was like, well, let me drive. And she's like, no, you know where you're going, let me drive. So they went, ran the errand, came back to the house. When they came back to the house, she went in the house. Was in there for a few minutes, and then she returned back to the van. He stayed in the van with a black male this time. The black male got into the van. The victim said the black male showed him a gun, that he had a gun. He didn't have anything of it. He's like, okay. They were going to a cookout to an uncle's house. They drove him from that location to the uncle's house for the cookout. Once they were there, they had some drinks, they had some hamburgers. The victim wanted to leave, and they said, okay, so they went back. At that time, he told him again, the black man began beating him with the pistol in his hands. Based on my investigation, I'll get to this. From there, they drove him, the female who spoke Spanish told him that this was the night that he was going to die, that they were going to drive him somewhere, take everything from him and leave him there. So he said they drove for a while, and they came to a bridge, they got him out, the male and female, began to beat him some more, and then he felt a knife on his throat, and they slashed his throat from one ear to the other. After doing that, they picked him up, threw him over the bridge. He fell in the water, felt the stain on his neck, knew that he had been cut. Was able to swim to a little patch of land where, after swimming, he was exhausted. By this time, it was almost daylight, and he said, waved there. Someone on a boat came over there, saw him, he waved them down for help. They didn't speak any Spanish. So they were able to bring him to shore. From that point, he walked from the marina to the Cumberland Farms, which is on Scenic Highway and Highway 90. There was a deputy there that was starting his shift, getting some coffee, and was able to get medical attention, and that's how he ended up at the hospital. I was able to talk to him and ask him for some details if he knew how to get to this house that he was with this female. He was able to utilize Google Earth, and from the store where he had seen her drive to the neighborhood, which ended up, after leaving the hospital, with his directions, I was able to come across the address, which is 7806 Oak Forest Drive. I returned back to the office and looked to see if there was any calls for service at that address. There was a call service in September the 4th, the same year. There was an armed disturbance. There was two suspect victims that stabbed each other. The victim in this case was Mr. Reynolds, and the suspect was his brother, Mr. Coles. The witness was Natalie Fonseca. I was able to take screenshots of the body cam footage from the deputies that responded to that scene, and based on the description that was given by the victim at the hospital, I was able to see that Mr. Reynolds and Natalie Fonseca were my suspects. Followed up to try to get some video from the store. Was able to obtain video from October the 6th, where the victim and Fonseca went to the store to buy the drinks after he had bought her the tacos. I also was able to obtain the video from October the 7th, where Ms. Fonseca was driving the van. There was a male passenger in the van, but from the video you can see, based on what the victim had told me he was wearing that night, a white shirt, and you can see because it's captain seats and then he's in the middle. He doesn't get out that night. So from then, while downloading the video at the store, Natalie, Fonseca, and Mr. Reynolds walk into the store while we're waiting for the video to be downloaded. She's wearing a red hoodie this time. He's dressed in all black. We wait for them to leave. My partner and I follow them. We know that there's two entrances to that subdivision when they go in. I go down to the second subdivision, park in the driveway, and videotape them walking to 7806 of Forest Drive. Based on all that evidence, we were determined that the suspects were Natalie, applied for an arrest warrant. It was signed by a judge, and on October 23rd, they were taken into custody. They were brought to the sheriff's office for a formal interview. While interviewing Ms. Fonseca, I asked her, this is about the Mexican who, from the store, and she started to tell me about the details about picking him up at the Circle K, taking him to the house, and, parking. She went in the house, and by the time she came out, everything had already happened, and he was gone. And I was a little confused, because I was like, well, that's not, Mexican at the store I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one that had his throat cut. And then she just sat back in her chair like, oh. I said, because he didn't die. So
at that point, investigator, was it clear to you that Ms. Fonseca was actually talking about a separate victim?
Yes, sir.
And is that in fact Mr. Sanchez, our victim, who is now present on the screen?
Yes, sir.
And I think you're about to talk to the judge about this would have been an incident that occurred after the incident you described with Mr. Ochoa, that incident taking place on about October 7th, whereas the incident that Ms. Fonseca was describing to you took place on or about October 16th. Is that right?
That is right, sir.
Let me ask you one other question. Whenever you talked about while you were in the store trying to obtain the surveillance video and the defendants walked into the store, at that time did Ms. Fonseca appear to be under duress or coercion by way of Mr. Reynolds?
No, sir.
And they in fact didn't leave the store together?
Yes, sir.
All right. At that, I stopped you or interrupted you at the point where you were about to talk to the judge as it related to the offense occurring on or about October 16, 2023, with Mr. Sanchez. We'll talk to the court about that.
So, when I found out Mr. Sanchez took the report, he said that he was actually on his way to Pensacola from Tallahassee to purchase the vehicle plates for vehicles that he had registration for, and he had approximately $2,300 to do that. He had met Ms. Fonseca at the Circle K. He previously known her for some time. He gave her a ride to the known address, which is 7806 up Forest Drive, and at which time she went in, black note came out with the gun, approached the driver's side, pointed the gun at him and told him to give it up, and that's when he took his iPhone and his wallet with $2,300.
Let me take you back, Investigator Martinez, to our first victim. Do you recollect what his name is?
It's a long first name, but it's easier for me to say Mr. Moreno Ocha.
Yes, sir. And that would be his last name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's the individual we were talking to the court about meeting at the hospital, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And when you spoke to Mr. Moreno Ochoa, did he talk to you about the items that were stolen from him by way of Ms. Fonseca and Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, sir, he did.
And what did he indicate was taken from his possession?
From his possession was his vehicle. It was a Honda Ford Odyssey, his wallet, and his cell phone. The Honda Odyssey was later found abandoned and burnt, and it was a site under construction where the new Publix is now, which is Highway 98 in Blue Winter.
During your investigation, did you learn or determine that in fact Mr. Moreno Ochoa's vehicle was burned on the same morning in which he ultimately walked up to the Cumberland gas station off of Scenic and Davis Highway?
Yes, sir, it was.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Judge, in this courtroom, I think it's going to require your assistance to put the photos on the screen. So, Investigator Martinez, just let me know when you go through those photos.
Yes, sir.
And just so you know, Your Honor, the state and defense have agreed to the admission of the photos. And so what Investigator Martinez is flipping through is going to be State's Exhibit #1. That photo, Judge, should be a picture of the bridge where Mr. Moreno Ochoa was thrown from. And it's going to be photos, State's Exhibits 2A through 2H, as in Hector. Those will be photos of Mr. Moreno Ochoa. Will be State's Exhibits 3A Alpha through 3N Nancy, and that will be in reference to what Investigator Martinez described as the location as well as the van of Mr. Moreno Ochoa.
Any objection, Mr. Early?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell? So received.
I move to publish with the court's assistance on this.
You certainly may do so. I'm just not really sure how to do this without losing Zoom. Because I've got to, we'll see.
All these exhibits for both defendants.
You want them to be in both cases, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. So, Investigator Martinez, this is State's Exhibit #1. Can you talk to the court about the relevance of this photo?
Yes, this is the bridge where Mr. Moreno Ochoa said that he was thrown over the side. And going back to the vehicle's plates were tracked using a license plate reader. They were able to follow the vehicle of I-10. It went all the way to Avalon, which is Santa Rosa, and then from Avalon it was tracked to Highway 90, and then coming across the bridge, Highway 90. Then it also hit our license plate reader at Scenic Highway and 90.
As we go to State's Exhibits 2A Alpha, is this Mr. Moreno Ochoa?
Yes, sir.
And was this in fact a photograph of Mr. Ochoa taken on scene by, I believe, would have been Deputy Neal once Mr. Ochoa made it to shore into that gas station?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'll just kind of walk through those, and I anticipate there'll be different vantage points. States 2B, 2C, 2D, E, F, G. And did Mr. Moreno Ochoa also indicate that he'd been struck with a firearm?
Yes, sir, it did.
And now as we come to State's Exhibits 3, Investigator Martinez, so we'll just kind of talk to the court a little bit about the relevance of these photos here.
This is the construction site where the Publix was being built. Of course, it had been graded, and you can't see the vehicle from this screenshot plug.
It's 3B, 3C, 3D, 3E. And are we now able to see the vehicle in State's Exhibit 3E?
Yes, sir.
Here? And was this the victim's 2006 Honda Odyssey?
Yes, sir, it was.
Although the pictures tell a clear indication, was the vehicle a complete loss?
Yes, sir, it was.
Those are my questions from the investigator, Your Honor.
Any cross-examination, Mr. Early?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell? All right. May he step down? May he be excused?
Both, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
At this time, Your Honor, seeks to admit State's Exhibit Number 4, which is a statement written by Mr. Moreno Ochoa. He wrote it in Spanish, then there is a notarized translation into English. Both have been provided to both defense counsel, neither of which indicated objection.
Mr. Mitchell?
Agreed.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Of course.
I believe it appropriate to give the court an opportunity to look through that, and while you're doing that, may I speak with the interpreter, Your Honor?
Of course.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Let me call Mr. Moreno Ochoa.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please take a seat.
Tome asiento, por favor.
Mr. Longmire?
Thank you. Will you please state your name for the record?
Para la constancia, podría decir su nombre y apellido. Bueno, ese es Ricardo Moreno Ochoa.
And Mr. Ochoa, just so you know, Investigator Martinez has already explained to the court what took place in your case.
Señor Ochoa, para que usted sepa, el investigador Martínez ya nos ha explicado a la juez y a nosotros lo que sucedió en la investigación en el caso. Yes.
What I'd like for you to tell the court is about what property was stolen from you by Ms. Fonseca and Mr. Reynolds.
Quisiera que usted le diga a la juez de parte del señorita Fonseca y el señor Reynolds. ¿Qué fue lo que robaron?
Nos robaron el carro, mi teléfono, mi dinero.
They stole my car and my telephone and also my money.
And was your car a 2006 Honda Odyssey?
¿Y su carro era un 2006 Honda Odyssey?
Sí, una Honda.
Yes, it was a Honda Odyssey.
And was it in good working condition?
¿Estaba en buen estado y funcionando? Yes.
And how much money did you pay for that Honda Odyssey?
¿Cuánto dinero pagó usted para el Honda Odyssey? It cost $4,500.
You said they also stole your money.
¿Usted dijo que también me robaron el dinero? Yes.
How much money did you have that they stole from you?
¿Cuánto dinero tenía usted que fue robado de usted?
Bueno, antes de eso, me quitaron 150 para comprar unos jugos para un niño de 16 de edad, y luego más 150 que me quitaron allá para echarle gas al carro, donde yo me conducía, pero yo no sabía conducir.
Well, first they stole $150 from me to buy some juices for some kids that said they were taking care of, and then they stole $150 to purchase gasoline for the vehicle that Natalie was driving.
Did they also steal your phone?
¿También me robaron el celular? Yes.
How much did you pay for your phone?
¿Cuánto pagó usted para el celular?
$300.
$300.
At the time of the incident, were you working?
En el momento en que sucedió el incidente, ¿usted estaba trabajando?
Sí.
Yes.
How much were you making per week?
¿Cuánto estaba ganando usted cada semana?
1,200.
$1,200.
After they cut your throat and threw you off of a bridge, did you have to stop working for a period of time?
Después de que le cortaron el cuello y le tiraron por el puente, ¿usted tuvo que dejar de trabajar por un tiempo?
Sí, yo quería trabajar por un periodo diferente.
Yes, I stopped working for some time, about 3 months.
Even when you were able to return to work, were you able to return in the same capacity as you were before this incident?
Aun cuando usted pudo regresar a trabajar, ¿pudo regresar a trabajar con la misma capacidad que tenía antes? No.
Today, do you remain in fear of Ms. Fonseca and Mr. Reynolds?
Hoy mismo, ahorita mismo, usted todavía se queda con miedo de la señorita Fonseca y el señor Reynolds? Yes.
Is there anything else that you would like Judge Nobles to know prior to her sentencing these defendants today?
¿Hay algo más que usted quisiera que la juez no sepa antes de que ella le dé la condena a estos dos acusados hoy?
Y lo que pido es que los condenen a ellos, que los hagan cumplir con sus años de cárcel, y que aunque yo saqué todo, por eso ya no lo necesito, pero porque puedo trabajar y ya no necesito y mejor.
Yes, I would like you to punish them with what you feel like you need to punish them for, so they'll have their time in jail. But as far as the money, I don't need it. I've already lost it, and I can continue to work and make that up.
And now, to be fair, or to be clear, you would like the money, but when we spoke, you believe that the incarceration is more important than the money. True?
Para estar justo y para decirlo correctamente, cuando nos comunicamos y platicamos, a usted le gustaría el dinero, pero para usted, a usted le importa más que estén encarcelados, ¿correcto? Yes.
Those are my questions, Your Honor.
Son preguntas, su señoría.
Mr. Early, anything?
No cross. I have one question. Sir,
Please come up, tell
Okay.
me.
Se está acercando.
sir, Ms. Fonseca and Mr. Reynolds have both entered pleas to the court. Today they will be punished. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about whether one of the two was worse, or one of the two was better, or one of the two was more of a leader.
Hoy la señorita Fonseca y el señor Reynolds ya se declararon, ya van a recibir su condena. Quiero darle una oportunidad para usted a que
que usted le diga al juez si uno era mejor, uno era peor, o uno se hizo como el líder o el supervisor de los dos.
Los dos al mismo.
Both of them were the same.
Thank you, sir.
Muchas gracias, señor.
No redirect, Your Honor.
All right, may he be excused.
He may, Your Honor.
He may step down and he is excused.
Bueno, hace que esté pendiente, ¿verdad?
You let him know that although he's excused, he's free to stay if he wants to.
Aunque usted ya termina, se puede quedar si desea.
Next call, Mr. Sanchez, Your Honor.
Ahora voy a llamar al señor Sánchez, señoría.
Mr. Sanchez, please raise your right hand.
Señor Sánchez, por favor, levante la mano derecha.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Usted puede afirmar que el testimonio que usted dé sea la verdad completa y nada que no sea que Dios le ayude.
Sí.
Yes.
You can put your hand down, sir.
Puede bajar la mano, señor.
May I inquire, Your Honor?
You may.
Mr. Sanchez, Investigator Martinez has already talked with the court about what took place in your situation.
Señor Sánchez, el investigador Martínez ya le platicó y le testificó a la juez de lo que sucedió en la situación suya.
Okay.
Okay?
Similar to the conversation you and I had earlier today, I would like for you to talk with Judge Nobles about what was taken from you and how that has affected you.
Muy parecido a lo que nos comunicamos hace poco, en el día de hoy. Quisiera que usted le diga a la señorita, a la jueza Nobles, lo que se le quitó, lo que se le robó a usted y cómo le ha afectado a usted.
Ok, pues a mí me robaron un aproximado de $2,500 que iba a sacarle placas a una troca que había comprado y me robaron mi teléfono y mi identificación. Entonces el teléfono tenía un valor de como de 750 que me había costado y los 2,000, póngale 2,350 que era en efectivo. Me afectó bastante en el transcurso porque pues me quedé literal sin comer por una semana, no pude sacar la...
Permíteme un segundo. Muchas gracias. Well, they stole approximately $2,500 from me that I was going to use to go ahead and get placed for a vehicle that I purchased. And they also stole my cell phone and my ID. My cell phone cost me approximately $750, and I think it was about $2,650 that was stolen from me in the interpreter's house in the testimony. Sige?
Would you please instruct him to give you smaller sound bites for interpretive purposes?
Señor, para que yo pueda interpretar en una forma fiel y que no se me olvide nada de lo que usted diga, podría decirme y platicar con 2 o 3 oraciones a la vez y yo las interpreto y después usted sigue. ¿Está bien?
Ok.
Bien. ¿Puede seguir? Usted puede seguir adelante con cómo le afectó.
Ok, no, ya no le pude sacar las placas a mi troca. En mi trabajo me afectó porque perdí mucho de los contactos de mis trabajos y no los pude recuperar. Al igual, el temor que me quedó de ver a otra persona porque me puso un arma de fuego en la cabeza el hombre.
Permíteme. I wasn't able to get the place for my truck, and also I lost all of my contacts because my phone was taken. I wasn't able to recover my work contacts, so I lost quite a bit of work. ¿Sigue?
Okay. Entonces yo a la hora de ver a una persona, o sea, como el señor, pues sí me da bastante miedo. No tomé ni terapias ni nada de eso porque también por el asunto económico, que no tenía dinero, ¿no? Pero sí me da miedo.
So now I'm afraid because when I see someone that reminds me of that man, it causes me fear, and I haven't gone to therapy or anything like that because I don't have the money for that. But yes, I am in fear.
No other questions from the city.
No hay más preguntas de la fiscalía.
Well, unless he has anything else he'd like to address, I don't have any more questions.
¿Desea decirle algo más a la juez? Porque el fiscal no tiene ninguna pregunta más, a menos que usted quisiera decir algo más.
Pues solo que le den el castigo que se merece, pues, para que no ande esa gente así en la calle libremente molestando a las demás personas que nos dedicamos a trabajar.
Well, just that they will get the punishment that they deserve, because that way they won't be out on the street and bothering people and hurting people that only want to work for a living.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez.
Muchas gracias, señor Sánchez.
Gracias.
Mr. Early?
No problem. No, ma'am, thank you.
Y no hay preguntas, gracias.
All right, he certainly can stay on if he chooses, or he is excused if he would like that as well.
Señor, usted definitivamente podría quedarse conectado. Usted podría
Sí.
quedarse conectado si desea, pero si no quiere, entonces puede despedirse también. Y gracias.
Ok, muchas gracias.
Thank you so much.
No other evidence from the state, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm going to interpret the excuse, or would you like the interpreter to remain?
I'd ask that it remain, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Early?
Your Honor, we're going to call Natalie and Fonseca. So do you want her to testify from here, or do you want her to come up to the podium?
Up here's fine. All right, ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Go ahead, take a seat.
Ma'am, could you please state your name for the record?
Natalie Fonseca.
And you entered a plea on this case quite a few months ago, didn't you?
Correct.
Now, you have a letter that you'd like to read to the judge.
I do.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the court allow her to read the letter to you, and then I'll go with some questions.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
That's fine.
Your Honor. We are never ready for the storm of life. We are never ready for the storms of life. You can search for shelter from the storm, but sometimes there is none. To be found, and you find yourself completely exposed. Some of life's storms are mild enough that you make the best of them and dance in the rain, but others are so violent that they knock the wind out of you, leaving you gasping for air and questioning everything. There are no words for what both victims and myself have experienced. Even words tripping with me leave so much unsaid. I can never get down on paper the mental, emotional, and physical abuse that has developed from being in a relationship with Mr. Reynolds since July 9, 2015. I felt the need to protect someone who created trauma within me and took advantage of my vulnerability. This phase in my life where my freedom was paused has taught me about life, and most importantly about myself. Not everyone has good intentions in life. Mr. Reynolds persuaded my memory with rainbows and unicorns to get me out of my mother's house at the age of 16. Where I was once pure, enjoying life as a teen, I thought love was what I found, but love only became a mental illness. I became fragile, confused, addicted, even suicidal. Every visible scar on my body came from Mr. Reynolds. As of today, I acknowledge my mistakes, and I know my worth. I can go back to school for not only my GED or diploma, but for my writing, to go beyond my crafty words, for my amazing talent doing hair and eyebrows. I learned that honesty is a few steps in gaining trust, along with taking accountability for my own actions. I know in the beginning I was not completely honest. But I opened up, and it has relieved me of many nightmares and dark shadows. Even minimize my fears. Mr. Reynolds may not have succeeded in taking the victim's life or my life over the years, but he definitely changed it forever. I had a chance to speak up, but afraid of the many threats, I was regretfully silent. And that was selfish of me. I will forever be hurt by what happened and the way it happened, because I, Natalie,
Ms. Fonseca, I asked you at first that you entered a plea. That was you taking responsibility for your actions, correct?
it was.
And after you entered that plea, you did depositions on this case.
I did 2 of them.
And in those 2 depositions, you told Mr. Longmire and Mr. Mitchell, you told them what happened, correct?
I did.
Now, while you've been incarcerated since October 23rd, 2023, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, I've got a stack, 45, 50 education courses that you took in while you were incarcerated, correct?
Yes.
Everything from wellness programs to Americans with Disabilities Act, being a mentor, all of those.
Yes, sir.
So while you've been in, before this case has come to resolution, you've been trying to improve yourself, correct? And you're not trying to minimize your role in this case, are you? You take responsibility, and that's why you entered a plea, correct?
My own actions, yes.
Now, we don't have family here today to speak for you, but you have family that's in the audience. Your mother and your sister and some other family, correct?
That's right.
And to the judge and to them, to everybody here, to the victims, you're taking responsibility, correct?
Yes, sir.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Mitchell, anything?
Good afternoon. Ms. Fonseca, do you remember me?
I do.
Okay. You remember telling the judge a minute ago that you gave 2 depositions in this case? They were with me, weren't they?
Right.
Do you remember the very first question that you asked when Mr. Longmire and myself walked in the room?
I do.
What was that question?
What would my sentencing be looking like?
If I suggested to you that you said, Mr. Longmire, what am I going to get for talking today? Would you agree that that's the truth? Did you hear your lawyer several times ask that you were taking responsibility for your conduct today? Okay. But what if I suggested to you that in your letter that you read to the judge, you repeatedly deflected towards Mr. Reynolds? Would you agree with that?
I don't agree.
Okay. I certainly appreciate that. Did you hear the victim in this case, the one that took the stand there and testified with an interpreter here in Pensacola, when I said, was one of these people the leader? Was one of these people worse? And he said, no, they were both similarly, situated. Did you hear him say that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, is it your position that the lion's share of the fault goes to Mr. Reynolds? Because listening to you read that letter makes me think that's what you're trying to say.
I took accountability for my own actions.
Okay, what were your actions?
I could have spoke up when I had the chance, but I didn't.
Well, when you say the chance is to speak up and tell the truth, are you referring to the 2 times that Mr. Longmire came out to the jail to depose you?
No, at the time of the incident, when it was occurring,
Would you acknowledge that you were not fully truthful at either of the 2 times that Mr. Longmire and I came out to see you?
I was truthful.
Okay, so that's my question.
Mr. Longmire?
So to kind of echo what Mr. Mitchell's asking you, you remember I did come out and speak with you, correct? And when I did, on both those occasions, certainly the last occasion, did I not say to you that, Ms. Fonseca, I don't believe that you were telling me the complete truth? Did I tell you that?
You did say that.
Did I further tell you that I felt like you were minimizing your role in the situation?
You did say that.
All right. And now you heard me ask Investigator Martinez about when he saw you and Mr. Reynolds at the store. Did you hear me ask him about that?
I did.
And so when you were at the store with Mr. Reynolds, you didn't try to run or get help at any point, did you?
I did not.
And then on the night where Mr. Moreno Ochoa had his throat sliced and thrown off of the bridge, you didn't do anything to help Mr. Ochoa, did you?
I did not.
Call 911 on that night?
I didn't.
And then when you all left from throwing him off of the bridge, telling him that that was going to be his last night on earth, did you go with Mr. Reynolds out to that new area to construct that culvert? Did you go with Mr. Reynolds then?
Being forced into this whole situation, I did go.
Okay, so that's your position. You were forced in it. But after the van was set on fire, did you also leave with Mr. Reynolds?
Yeah.
Go back to that house, take a shower, climb in that bed, and go to sleep?
Yeah.
And then after that situation, merely 8 days later, on October 16th, did you again go with Mr. Reynolds and participate in a robbery of Mr. Sanchez?
I did not participate.
And I appreciate the fact that you said that. Let me ask you this way. Without you, would Mr. Sanchez ever ended up on Oak Forest Drive? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so Mr. Sanchez only ended up there because he took you home, correct?
Correct.
And then when law enforcement found you and Mr. Reynolds and arrested you all on October 23rd, did you not have the backpack on your back with Mr. Sanchez's items in it?
I did.
And let me ask you, what's the last line of your letter?
I, Natalie, Fonseca, I'm a victim.
No, see, that's where you're wrong. Aren't the victims Mr. Moreno, Ochoa, and Mr. Sanchez?
Why wouldn't you consider me as a victim?
Answer my question. Are they the victims or are you the victim today?
All 3 of us are.
Nothing for the jury.
Mr. Early?
You took the plea, right, to the charges.
I did.
The only thing in that plea was cap, correct? That was the only promise you were made.
That's right.
You took responsibility for it.
That's right.
No further questions.
All right, ma'am, you can step down.
Your Honor, I only have already.
Okay. Mr. Mitchell?
Respectfully, our intention is to call Nanette Hauser as well as Mr. Reynolds' father, and then Mr. Reynolds is going to offer some remarks to you and to the victims in this case.
That's fine, call please.
Nanette first.
She can speak.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry. Jimmy, please come up.
This way, sir. This way,
Sir,
sir.
come on up to the witness stand, please. Sir, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can put your hand down, sir.
Sir, what is your name?
My name is Jimmy Hauser.
And did you hear me tell Judge Numbers that I was going to ask Nanette to come and take the stand off some testimony?
Yes.
And did you guys just explain that she does not speak? Is that what?
Yes, she's her nerves. I'm not a public speaker, but she's worse.
Okay. And Nanette, there in the black sweater there in the third row, That's Mr. Reynolds' mother, is that correct?
Yes,
And your relationship to Mr. Reynolds is?
it's stepfather.
Okay. Now, Mr. Reynolds is going to come up here in a couple minutes, and he's going to tell the judge, and he's going to tell the victims in this case about his remorse and about his role with tremendous candor, I expect. So I'd like for you, in his role as his stepfather, how long have you been in a relationship with Mr. Reynolds?
Well, I met Nafis when he was 3 going on 4 years old.
Very good. And what do you do for a living? What has your career been?
Industrial manufacturing. Yeah.
All right. What I'd like to hear from you is about how his life has been and what goodness you've seen in this person as you watch him grow from 3 years old until today.
Well, Nafis, he you know, I have to write document stuff, but, you know, I was married to Nanette for 26 years, his mother. And Nafis always, you know, I thought he would just excel in like mechanics and building, and that's the type of talent he had and mentality he had. But you know, Nafis moved out of my house when he was about 16, 17. Me and his mother, we separated, and as a young adult, he made some bad choices, and those choices, you know, had some dire consequences, and those consequences, they kind of consumed him, physically and mentally, and you know, since Nafis been incarcerated for 23 months, I've been communicating with him, and he's, you know,
With the court's permission, I'm going to interrupt you.
yes,
A few of the times that you've visited with him, is it true that you've come to my office
yes,
and I've set you up in a private room with a confidential visit over the video with Nafis? Isn't that true?
yes,
And what I'm interested in is, here you've known him since he was 3 years old. You've had visits over the video where you've been assured of confidentiality. Have you seen reflection and remorse
oh yeah.
from Nafis?
I've seen, you know, about 6 months ago, I was in conversation with Natalie, and that's when I knew that he actually realized how much damage he had done. He was in a lot of pain with me, and he had realized what he had done, and not only that, I helped him to, I think I helped him to realize you're going to have to bear the consequences. You're going to have to deal with what's to come. And you know, the family is not looking for a miracle in today's world. You know, we know.
Sir, with the judge's permission, once again, I'm going to interrupt you. Nafis is a young man. Judge Nobles may give him 10 years, 15 years, 25 years, maybe 30 years. She might. Okay? What does Nafis' life look like when someday he is out of prison?
Well, I believe he can apply himself with what I always know him to be. He mechanically inclined. He's very good with his hands. He can build, and I truly believe that you know, and I just hope that we can, you know, Your Honor, we can show them some consideration today that actually give them time to come back into society with his family and show us his attributes from these events that done happened. You know, but like I say, I understand that justice, you know, needs to be served.
Judge, those are my questions. He's happy to answer any of yours or Mr. Longmire's. Or
Mr. Early? Mr. Longmire?
No question.
All right. Thank you, sir. You can sit down.
Judge, Nafis Reynolds has some remarks for you as well as the victims in this case.
That's fine.
Would you mind up there or here?
Up here, sir.
This way, sir.
All right, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead and take a seat.
Mr. Reynolds, how are you? How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes I don't speak loudly enough, and it's a bad habit, but we got to speak loudly today, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, sir, your audience is both Judge Nobles as well as the victims in this case. You can see on the screen as well as in the stands, okay? Are you nervous?
Yeah.
Okay. If any of my questions are unclear, you let me know. The same goes with Judge Nobles as well as Mr. Longmire. All right?
Yes, sir.
Have you thought about what you'd like to say to Judge Nobles and the victims in this case?
Yeah, I have.
The microphone is yours, sir.
Since I've been focusing on growth and learn how to channel my emotions the right way, teaching myself to direct and divert them the right way, and spending my time wisely. I'm using the knowledge and wisdom and understanding I'm learning to reshape a better being through mind, body, and soul, finding myself again. Because the path I was on, I was lost. I found somewhere down the road, addiction, depression, sadness, and anger pursuing my life. I was brutally confused about a lot of things, especially myself. Because what I chose to deal with and allow, I forgot who I was and I was used to recognize the person I was becoming because I was too ashamed to ask or receive help I desperately needed. I was gambling with my life and everything I wanted to leave, and it cost me everything. At one point in time, I was a good son, a good brother, and that I just wouldn't have. I have so many people that love me for who I am, who I was, and who I'm becoming. That I would love and care for a person better than I would myself. And my heart is bigger than my body. If it wasn't in me to wrong the person, it would wrong me. That if you were hurting me, I would choose peace. If you pushed me away, I'll be the last one to leave you, made the hurt mistake. That I was raised in a stable household, I come from multiple parents that wouldn't change, that I wouldn't change for nothing in this world. My mother raised me on love and understanding and teaching me to treat my friends like family, a stranger like I would want to be treated. My father taught me about having morals and principles and showed me and showed me
seen my to work as hard as they did to provide and have anything for me and my siblings. I wish I spent more time showing them how much I admire and appreciate them for everything. So I would like to apologize for the people's lives I destroyed by my actions and choices I've made that brought me to this. The victim in all this, I'm deeply sorry. I pray I learned to forgive myself because of the shame, the grief, and regrets I pointed out the pain I caused you. I still can't grasp the thought of how I allowed myself to stoop to these levels to hurt somebody so tragically. I wouldn't be surprised if you never learned to forgive me. So I pray you will, and don't let it consume your life. Because I know how it feels to feel alone and not having the strength to be there for yourself. I know how the pain feels and that you've gone so far in pain because you hurt yourself trying to get it. I've seen the darkest depths of a person and you're so blind to it you can't see it. The way out, just being so close to recovery and relaxing over and over again. I pray that you surround yourself by people that love you and that you really are finding peace you deserve. I would also like to tell Natalie that I'm sick of how sorry I am. I know I failed you when you needed me the most. Because of my actions, I destroyed your life in the process. I wish I could have helped you more. I wish there was a way I could set you free so you can have another chance at life. I can only imagine what's going through your mind and your emotions you're experiencing right now. I know I'm to blame for all your frustrations. I pray you use this time wisely and grow and work for mental health. I pray you heal from all the pain and hurt you've been through and you learn to forgive me one day. I knew you would expect me to leave and also be the person you always could. Up to. I'm sorry. I want to use this time I'm giving to better myself and be a better man.
Nafis, as I seen earlier, you're a young person. How old are you?
It's a 33.
33 years old. So Judge Nobles might give you 30 years today. She might give you 20. She might give you 25. She might give you 15. What's your life going to look like when you ultimately leave prison? Said a better way, what if the court was concerned that you might be danger to our community if you were someday released from prison, or when you are? What would you say to that?
That wouldn't be dangerous. I just made a mistake. And I wasn't in my right mind.
I heard the part of your letter where you offered apologies to the victims in this case. But you see the gentleman there in the red t-shirt in the second row. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to him?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I hurt you so bad. I just wish I could change it.
Any remarks for the other gentleman as well?
It's the same.
Yes, thank you. Those are my questions.
Mr. Early, anything?
No problem.
Mr. Longmire?
No question.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step down.
That's all I'm saying.
Any further evidence, Mr. Mitchell? No. Mr. Longmire, any rebuttal?
No, Your Honor.
He can sit back down at the table unless you want him there. I assume we're going straight into argument?
Yes, sir.
That's fine.
Is this me?
No, it's going to be
I
Mr.
thought you were looking at me.
Longmire to start. I didn't know whether Mr. Reynolds was going to take a seat or not.
Where did I? So, Mr. Earl staying here.
Go ahead, Mr. Longmire.
Judge, you've heard the evidence. You did a great job outlining when the offenses took place, what both the defendants scored. I don't know that everyone to argue for down departure, but you all just at that time. So
Do me a favor, if y'all will just switch, Mr. Longmire, if you will get in table one, please. Thank you.
No problem. So Mr. Mitchell made mention of you made it 15 years. I think the court Judge. In a situation that you had two defendants who did two very heinous crimes, it's a sad day when robbing someone at gunpoint isn't the main story, right? The main issue here was the first case, where on the early morning hours of October the 8th, this defendant, Mr. Reynolds, and his co-defendant, Ms. Natalie Fonseca, robbed Mr. Moreno at gunpoint. And they did so in his own van. They robbed him at gunpoint, they beat him severely. And then when they got him to the top of the bridge, they told him it was going to be his last night on earth. They then took him out of that van, pulled him back by his hair, slit his throat, and together threw him over the bridge. Now, in my conversation with Mr. Moreno, he told me, Mr. Longmire, once I hit that water, I thought I was dead. I grabbed my throat, and I swam to shore with one arm. And the body camera would show, and you saw the photos, where he was on shore at that Cumberland. He walked there, beaten, bloody, barefoot. He could barely stand. And it was just only by happenstance that law enforcement was there. Investigator Martinez walked the court through the tireless investigation that he conducted to identify both Ms. Fonseca and Mr. Reynolds. And throughout that investigation, right after this situation, if that wasn't enough, they then went out shortly a week later, and to be clear, Ms. Fonseca was at Circle K, and that's where, by happenstance, Mr. Sanchez is there. Having known Ms. Fonseca for approximately a year prior, he figured it was late, it was dark, he would be a kind individual and give her a ride home. And now, what Mr. Sanchez was saying to the court is, when he went to pay at that gas station, that was when he pulled out money and even bought her a soda. It was at that time that Ms. Fonseca saw the amount of money he had, and that's why he believes once he got to the house, this defendant, Mr. Reynolds, then robbed him at gunpoint, Judge. So, after throwing Mr. Moreno Ochoa off of the bridge, thinking he was dead, setting his van on fire, and thinking there was no other evidence, believing they were in the clear, he committed another robbery nearly a week later. And so then you have Ms. Fonseca who comes in here and says she is the victim. There was really no response I could give in that moment to such a blatant disrespect for the real victims in this case, Your Honor. Now, what is true is I do believe that because of Ms. Fonseca entering the plea, I think that was the impetus to Mr. Reynolds ultimately entering the plea. Now, as it relates to whether the court should give any concession to either defendant, the state would absolutely say no, Your Honor. Both of them deserve the maximum 30 years in state prison. You see, Judge, it may have been Mr. Reynolds who may have carried out that second robbery, but merely he was the way of Ms. Fonseca's will. Right? See, what I asked her was, without you, Ms. Fonseca, Mr. Sanchez never shows up at the house on October 16th. She could not refute that. Without Ms. Fonseca, Mr. Moreno Ochoa never gets his throat sliced. You see, because he only met Mr. Reynolds in the demise of that night by way of meeting Ms. Fonseca. So it's the state's position that both of them are equally culpable in this crime, and they both deserve a maximum sentence. The concession was already given as it relates to their prior record, as well as their involvement when the state agreed to the cap of 30 years of state prison, and therefore the state would ask that the court impose 30 years state prison for Ms. Fonseca, as well as 30 years in state prison for Mr. Reynolds. We would ask that you impose a restitution. I think the court heard that both victims indicated that the money wasn't their main concern, but rather the trauma and fear inflicted upon them by both defendants, and they would rather incarceration than any restitution, Your Honor.
Do you have the specific amounts?
I believe I do, if my math was correct, Judge.
I didn't know whether they said 300 or 600 for Mr. Moreno Ochoa's cell phone. But if you have the figure, that would be great.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. For Mr. Moreno Ochoa, it would be $19,500. And then for Mr. Sanchez, it would be $3,250.
Let me ask, as far as Mr. Early, do you have any objection to those figures?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell?
No.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Palmer?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Early, Ms. Longmire, if you'll step back and let Mr. Early have table 1.
Your Honor, right off the bat, Ms. Fonseca entered a plea. She did so, she cooperated. Mr. Longmire has told the court that without her cooperation, it's more likely that with her cooperation that there was a concession and there was a plea in this case. Your Honor, Ms. Fonseca deserves a downward departure based on substantial assistance. He has acknowledged to the court that she has given substantial assistance, and that was a direct, that substantial assistance directly resulted in a plea in a case. Your Honor, why I think Ms. Fonseca deserves that downward departure is because she did get testified. She went and she faced 2 depositions. In her own sentencing hearing, she had to be attacked by the co-defendant and the state. But they still said she gave depositions, she was here, she showed up, and that was a result of how that plea came about. Ms. Fonseca has taken responsibility for her actions. She got up on there and she said what happened, and she said that she took responsibility and she entered the plea. Not only did she enter the plea, she put herself at risk by cooperating against her co-defendant. And that information is going to follow her to state prison. Now, I know Mr. Longmire doesn't want her to get credit for that cooperation, but he admitted the cooperation happened. And when cooperation happens in a case like this, I think it's incumbent on the court to at least acknowledge and consider that in their sentencing of Ms. Fonseca. She has put herself at risk. That cooperation is going to follow this case. We're on TV right now. It's going out on YouTube or wherever it's going. And everybody got to see that she was a cooperating witness. And we're sentencing her. She deserves a downward departure for that cooperation. Now, I know that she's going to get a term of incarceration. But I would ask that that term of incarceration be minimal. 5 years, followed by 15 years of probation. But that's what I think would be beneficial in this case. I think that would be just. I think that would point out the fact that she cooperated, that she did go do 2 depositions, that she stood under fire. I took testimony from her knowing full well she was going to be under fire. But she put herself at risk to get a conviction on Mr. Reynolds. And the state knows that. That's why they acknowledged it. So, Your Honor, I am asking for a downward departure, and that downward departure is based on substantial assistance that Mr. Longmire has admitted she gave. Thank you.
Judge, may I respond in turn instead of waiting until Mr. Mitchell?
You will, but just give me 1 minute.
Yes. Thank you, Judge. I just kind of want to put to bed this idea of this 2 depositions. What really happened is she said she was tired. So based upon that, I wasn't going to begin my questioning. So that's really why we went there twice. It wasn't like we did a depo, we went all through it, and she gave another depo. She did what any witness would do under the law, is gave a depo. As it relates to her substantial assistance, the assistance she gave, Judge, is exactly why she received the offer she received. Otherwise, I would be here asking the court for life after a jury convicted both of them. Now, so that's why she got the offer she got. So quite honestly, if she then received a downward departure, based upon that, it would basically be a double dip. Now, that is within the court's discretion if that's what you choose to do, Your Honor. What I would also point out, as the court's well aware, when it comes to a downward departure, it's a 2-part analysis. Can the court do so? Should the court do so? Even to the extent that the court believes it can, the state would vehemently indicate or assert that the court certainly should not do so under these circumstances. Particularly when you have a defendant who says she is the victim. It shows in this particular situation, she still does not fully understand her role in what almost took 2 individuals' lives, Your Honor. So I would ask that the court impose the full 30 years in state prison for Ms. Fonseca.
All right. Mr. Mitchell?
You have my promise that the plea in this case by Mr. Reynolds.
Do me a favor. You do speak low, and that microphone is better. If you'll if you will step back.
You want to hear, you go back here.
All right. The plea in this case had nothing to do with depositions of Ms. Fonseca. I think the people that were in the room for the depositions of Ms. Fonseca will say that those were expensive wastes of time. What you got from Ms. Fonseca today is what we got in the room that day. A constant, absolute inability to, what is an important part of the reason for departure, which is acceptance of responsibility. She does not have that capacity. On the other hand, I suggest that what you found from Mr. Reynolds today was genuine acceptance of responsibility, was genuine thought about the horror that these two young people went through. Now, I'm not asking you to depart. You have the power to sentence Mr. Reynolds for 30 years. You have the power to go substantially below that. You ought to recognize that he did accept responsibility and offer genuine remorse as opposed to his co-defendants. And I urge you to give him credit for that, Judge. I appreciate your attention.
Mr. Lamar?
Mr. Reynolds was given consideration for entering a plea when I subsequently made him an offer of a cap of 30 years as well. So the idea, now I will agree with Mr. Mitchell, I do believe that Mr. Reynolds seemed to be more remorseful than Ms. Fonseca. But he too seems to lack a full understanding and appreciation for what took place in these cases. You heard him on the stand and he said, I made a mistake. A mistake which would be a big one would be if I showed up to court 5 minutes late. Cutting someone's throat, throwing them off of a bridge, setting their van on fire, and then robbing someone else at gunpoint a week later, that's not a mistake. That's done by an individual who does not deserve to be free in our society and deserves to be locked up for the maximum amount of time appropriate and allowed under the law. And based upon all of the facts and the circumstances in these cases, that's 30 years in state prison, and that is what the state is asking and imploring this court to do, to sentence Natalie Fonseca and Mr. Nafis Reynolds, each to 30 years in state prison. Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Early, Ms. Fonseca, if you want to come up to table 1, I will have Mr. Walmart step aside. All right. Considering that both of these defendants were originally facing multiple counts with the maximum of life, they both benefited from the sentence recommendation that was offered by the state. The crime that was committed, crimes that was committed to Mr. Moreno Ochoa are quite literally unfathomable. I cannot understand the fear that he must have felt when he was trying to be a kind individual. And I do see these two as equal in this. You know, there may be, again, there was an argument about a difference in remorse, but there are differences in this case. Mr. Reynolds comes before the court with, I believe, no priors, and Ms. Fonseca comes before the court with a prior felony and actually 3 prior felonies and a prior misdemeanor, and yet she is 7 years, I think, younger than Mr. Reynolds. So they've each got their own set of this is good and this is not as good. But when it comes to the events, the fact that this happened to Mr. Moreno Ochoa and then 1 week later to Mr. Sanchez is incredible. But the sheer violence of what happened to Mr. Moreno Ochoa is, I mean, in his letter to me, he said that Ms. Fonseca looked at him and said something along the lines of, "This is your last day to live." I cannot imagine the fear. He then said she grabbed his hair and pulled it backwards, and Mr. Reynolds slit his throat. And I believe it was 3 times. That, in and of itself, is enough to convince me to the sentence that I am going to sentence. First of all, I know that Mr. Mitchell did not ask for downward departure. Mr. Early did. Mr. Longmire is correct. It is a 2-step analysis. The one is, do they qualify? I quite frankly don't know under these circumstances if substantial assistance is a qualifier. But even if it was, I do not believe it would be appropriate. The sheer level of violence and the fact that there was another crime, and again, I know Ms. Fonseca wasn't the one that committed the second crime, but without her participation, it would not have occurred. And Mr. Mitchell didn't ask for downward departure, but the same analysis would go for Mr. Reynolds. I didn't hear any requests, I didn't hear any of the factors to analyze, but if there were this level of violence in 2 incredibly serious cases, I do not believe it would be appropriate. I do believe that both got the benefit of the bargain. The state offered it, they took it. Under the circumstances, it's going to be in both cases. Both cases, all counts as charged. It's going to be an adjudication on both cases, all counts as charged. Actually, yeah, I think that that is the way it is. Let me make a statement, because I think on the charges are the same, except for when Mr. Reynolds pled, it was to constructive. So the mandatory minimum that was there is not there. So now neither of them has a mandatory minimum. Is that correct, Mr. Longmire?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I just wanted to make that, because what they are left with is the same exact charges.
Correct.
All right. For Ms. Fonseca, counts 1 and 2-3 CF 4430, counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, 30 years state prison with credit for time served. Do you have that figure?
695 days.
695. 695 days time served. On counts 5 and 6, it would be 229.725 months state prison. And all of those are going to be concurrent and with the same credit.
I'm sorry, this is at 229.725.
Yeah, months state prison, 229.725 months state prison. And in 24 CF 727, it is going to be 30 years state prison concurrent. Would it be 518?
Madam Clerk, yes, ma'am.
518. If there is any sort of out of assistance fee, please assess it. There would be restitution, and it's going to be joint and several to Mr. Moreno Ochoa, $19,500. Again, joint and several with Mr. Reynolds. And to Mr. Sanchez, $3,250. joint and several with Mr. Reynolds, and it will be reduced to civil lien. Did I miss anything, Mr. Longmire or Mr. Early, as it related to Ms. Fonseca?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
$50 public defender fee.
Yeah, I ordered whatever assistance fee would be announced. All right, for Mr., I'm sorry,
Financial.
fiduciary. All right, so Mr. Reynolds, on counts 1, 2, 3, and 4 of 23 CF 4430, 30 years state prison concurrent. In counts, oh, it's all as, I'm sorry, counts 1, 2, 5, and 6 as charged. Counts 3 and 4, I guess I don't know whether that was amended. I don't know whether that's considered amended or just as charged. It's just, there is no constructive. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay,
There's
thank
no
you.
actual possession, it's constructive possession.
All right. It's adjudication as charged. It will be all counts concurrent. And in 1, 2, 3, and 4, I already announced the 30 years. In counts 5 and 6, it would be 226.800 months state prison with credit for time served
$695.
of 695 days, $518 in court costs. If there is any sort of public defender or assistance fee, please assess it. It will be the same restitution. Again, for Mr. Moreno, Ochoa, $19,500. Joint and several with Ms. Fonseca. To Mr. Sanchez, $3,250. Joint and several with Ms. Fonseca. And it will be reduced to civil liens. And in case number 24 CF 727, 30 years state adjudication as charged. Again, 30 years state prison concurrent. Is the credit the same in both cases, or is there a different credit for?
It would be, in both cases, they were picked up after the second case,
Okay,
and that's the new one.
so it's going to be the credit is going to be the same. And Madam Clerk, I should have said this, the restitution to Mr. Sanchez is in case number 24 CF 727 in both cases. The restitution to Mr. Moreno Ochoa is in 23 CF 4430. Did I forget anything, Mr. Mitchell or Mr. Longmire in Mr. Reynolds' case?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You both have 30 days within which to appeal the sentence I just rendered. If you cannot report attorney, 1B24.
Thank you. Ma'am, please. Case number 2.
Sure. All right. I've been on the bench for almost 2 hours, so we are going to take about a 5-minute break, and then we will pick up whatever we have left on the docket.
And you're on side.
10-minute break, or 5-minute break, and then we will pick back up with the docket.
disconnect. I thank you, sir.
So I get the plug back in my ear.
I thank you, sir. Our TVU, there's no audio channels, and I recognize that you're providing audio, of course.
Mr. Walker, do you have the address by any chance of the victims,
I'm going to, if you will email me, I'm going to talk to the deputy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay.
It's not your fault. It's TVU. It's not even showing the audio on the panel.
Okay, that's fine.
It's showing it here, though. I verified it.
Okay.
So I appreciate everything you did.
Right. Okay.
If you had time to come in and set up PTZs, then I would have. We can't recover it.
So you bring your own like setup like we used, like for TVs.
Mm-hmm.